Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. My name is Anisha binti Roslin, metric number 264807. This is about the techniques to improve ethical practices. The objective of this assignment is to understand the ethical practices, and the second is to identify techniques to improve ethical practices in Malaysia. Okay, what is ethical practices? Ethical practices are moral practices that exercise to create trust in moral demonstrating conduct of jobs, where it applies principles and values consistently in the process of decision making. Ethical values provide the ethical extent by which we carry out on our lives and settle on by making the best choice, since that is the correct way to be done, where this usually fulfills the concept of utilitarianism ethics. Example of ethical practices. Business ethics can vary in different nations and even between ventures. The individuals who have others' inclinations at the top of priority list when they settle on the choices are showing moral conduct. In the working environment, they may be a norm for moral sets all through that specific business. Moral conduct such as honesty, integrity, fairness, and positive traits. These types of moral conduct is really important to exist in a business. For ethical practices in Malaysia, Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs had delivered a book entitled Code of Ethics for Malaysian Businesses, where the objective of this is to distribute this book to people in general is to support moral strategic approach in Malaysia. The enactment of this book is depends on the lessons of religion, theory, and custom of plural society in Malaysia. It is an initiative by the National Consumers Protection Consultative Council and Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs to create self-guidelines among the dealers in Malaysia. There are 6 standards of Malaysian Business Code of Ethics intended to be accomplished by each business in Malaysia, which is genuineness in business managing, mindful toward clients, society and climate, warmth toward individuals people, control in business managing, just as reasonable treatment of clients. Develop a code and make ethical performance strategy. A fundamental initial step is to formalize a business assumption and make it clear about which practices are and are not worthy. On the off chance that the business has not done as such, they need to make a code of morals area in the worker handbook that diagram appropriate business lead. This assists to eliminate any confusion and ambiguity about the business moral practice and keep everybody on the same mission. An applicable code of moral lead or comparable strategy that set clear target, guidelines, and assumptions is a vital necessity for moral execution. A code should be upheld by an emphasis on moral execution in more extensive dynamic. Measure leadership and organization value. Conduct regularly stream down through and through inside business. It is significant that the business chiefs need to act righteously and fill in as models for the remainder of the other staff. All things considered, if administrators show sketchy moral conduct, for what reason will it be advisable for others else to rely upon to act with moral conviction? So, at the point when pioneers try to do their say, others should do and maintain an elevated expectation of moral, the remainder of the business staff will have a positive good example. In this manner, just once that happens, will employee be able to get in sync and guarantee the entire association to experience those values. Engage, communicate, and train. Not every person will maintain each and every moral assumption 100% all of the time, and rule will definitely be broken. Notwithstanding, it is significant that if the association doesn't incur unsuitable conduct and show that there are ramifications, it should be followed. Connect with staff and different partners, for example, providers, financial specialists, controllers, and buyer networks through viable and useful correspondence. It is important to keep communicating with those partners because in a business, communication is really important. Where indecent, standard and steady correspondence and preparing will assist with implanting a moral culture. According to essays, practice make perfect, which means by training the internal sources, which is means the staffs, it will make sure that this moral culture can be naturally applied among them. Provide support routes. Similarly, as it is essential to step out exploitative practice, it is similarly imperative to command the workers for following accepted procedures. This does not need to be anything over the top, yet the business should make it a highlight recognition people that satisfy the hopes. Doing so should feel in as uplifting feedback which can have some drawn out advantages for a business. Business need to grow away from for announcing associated extortion and infringement with association approach on moral conduct. Unfortunately, such a large number of businesses fail in such manner and should embrace a zero-resistant approach in their business appliance of ethics. Measure the effectiveness of practice. Most businesses in general place an accentuation on network contribution and are really keen on positively affecting the world, regardless of whether it is fundraising for neighborhood causes, setting up volunteer projects for workers, or giving to commendable foundations. This can be anonymous, where the corporate social obligation to exercise the CSR has estimated viability of the association moral program. This is usually used for the corporate company where they need this CSR activity to make sure their sustainability in the future. This is also to guarantee a best practice. Associations need both to quantify their moral execution and to encourage open conversations among the consumer and the supplier. For a conclusion, moral practices are significant for some reason in any event, for a significant offering point to numerous buyers. well-defined composed code of morals that rehearsed in business can pull in financial specialists to resources into their businesses. Anyway, without rehearsing them in viable procedures, it will not occur. Of course, the business additional can take measures to advance morals in their working environment, where a business can make a superior culture, improve their image notoriety, and essentially feel great that they are accomplishing something good. With rehearsing the five procedures to improve moral practices above. That's all